I had those trials and tribulations when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very appropriate fear of living the way I was raised.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to I felt really, really, really bad for my mom when she couldn't afford things. And I'm not talking about afford like expensive things. I mean food, like gas in the car, $10 cleats. Like I'm saying, like she couldn't. And I never wanted my kid. I felt really bad for her. Not like I looked down. I was very proud of her, how hard she worked. I just I had a lot of empathy for her.
Yeah.
And it looked like to me she felt helpless. And I never wanted, first of all, I didn't want her to feel that way. And that was part of I want to make money to take care of her.
Yeah.
That was a big part of it too. Even at a young age, before I even had kids or whatever, I'm like, I'm going to take care of my mom.
Got it.
So.
In sales, I mean, it's one of the things you taught me early on is you control your income, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you work at the state, you don't control how much you get paid unless you work over, but even then you're capped, right?
Correct.
But in sales, whatever you do or don't do is based on your efforts, which, I think for me, that was always my favorite thing about it. If I failed, it was on me.
Correct.
And if I had success, it was on me, which some people can't deal with. But I feel like you being as competitive as you were, did that attract you?
Yeah, I've always been accountable. Like, I screw something up, I screw it up.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's if it's my job to do and it wasn't done, I didn't do the job.
Yeah.
Like, it's my fault. I want a big finger pointer. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you missed. It was my tackle to make. I missed it.
Yeah.
It was my ball to catch. I missed it. I was supposed to be there on time. I didn't show up. Like, I wasn't, like, that wasn't weird to me. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, that was a big part of it. I liked that. But I liked, I think weirdly enough, I never realized this until recently. I think athletically, what bothered me, I think it's fair to say bothered me. When you play ball, as you move up levels, eventually you get to a place where there's like, you're in high school, you're in college, maybe you're at a high level, but then once you start getting these real small, like funnel, dudes are just different. When they hit the ball, you don't need to see them hit it. Like I could walk through a batting cage now, and if a dude swings and he's a different dude, I can tell by the contact. I got to see it. If you get a football dude and he's walking up and down the sidelines, he don't even he's seen that ball. He's like a dude threw that ball. Like that's a different kind of. And I think for me, I'm like, man, I remember my college coach. I said, "What are you gonna do?" I said, I'm gonna play professional baseball. He's like, "Dude, you're 6 foot tall. You don't run fast. You don't hit for power. You throw the ball 90 miles an hour, which a lot of people do. You're a really good player who has no chance to make a lot of money playing this game." And I just remember looking at him like, okay, that dude's 6'6", but he's not better than me, but he's 6'6". Yeah. And I think when I got into business, I was like, wait a minute. There is no, like, as much as my talent took me where it took me, no talent's required here.
Right.
So, like, wait a minute. I worked my ass off playing ball, and I would literally, like, run through a wall to win a game. But I still had what I had. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't, that's why when I played linebacker, they're like, why do you keep holding people? I'm like, they're fucking faster than me. And when I hold them and they get out on the sidelines, it's a 15-yard penalty. If I cover them without holding them, it's a touchdown. Why don't you come cover them? You're fast.
Lesser of two evils.
Who put me out there? Like, how the hell I get isolated on that dude? Like, he's too fast for me, bro. You know who I am. And I think here I was like, this is the greatest level playing field called accountability, called winning that I've ever seen in my life, because business – I think I assumed when I was a kid that people doing well or wealthy had a talent. Yeah. And I always thought, I wonder what that talent is. And one day when I get older, I'll see, like, what talent did my mom – and it's like my mom did not – my mom just was a young mom who ended up with 2 kids who, like, was raising them by herself with no educational experience. She just got dealt the hand she got dealt. It wasn't because she did the best she could do, and I'm very, very proud of what she's done. She always says, like, when you share that stuff, I'm like, I share it because I'm proud of you.
Right.
I don't share it because, like, I'm really proud of what you've done. You know what I mean? Because she'll watch it, so I got to say, like, and I do mean it. I am proud of it.
Well, it's much harder to do it in that environment than when you come from a silver spoon.
There's no doubt if my mom had come, so I do think that. So I guess for me, I confused we didn't have that background or that much. And I assumed there's a talent. I wonder what my coach, and not all, but some of the coaches I had were very successful businessmen, which is why they coached. They had time.
Right.
They're like, I'll coach my son's team. I have time. The guys that work a job, 8 to 5 or 6 can't coach.
Right.
They ain't got no time. So I happened to be around a lot of business people because of the time they had. They could travel with us, go to tournaments. And I think as I got around them, I was like, damn, there's no talent. So yeah, when I saw a leaderboard that I knew that every company I worked at, that there should be no reason I wasn't number 1 at that company. Not number 2, not number 5, number 1.
Yeah.
There was no matter. And I liked when it got bigger. When I was at Remax, small leaderboard, small office, Southeastern Kentucky. Oh, there's a state leaderboard. Cool. Okay, God, I'm not number 1. I'm down here.
Yeah.
Boom, I get number 1 at state leaderboard. Hey, there's a regional leaderboard. Shit, what am I on that one? And there's a national leaderboard. And, dude, I love that shit.
So would you say that motivated you more than the money behind it?
Yeah, because in real estate, I loved being a social worker. Real estate to me was kind of like social work.
Okay.
You got to work with people in their finances. I didn't work with a lot of really wealthy people. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but a lot of mine were first-time home buyers.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to help them navigate the process. He'd be like, dude, don't take that loan with that guy. Look at this fine print. That's going to blow up. Don't do it. And I'd be like, dude, don't do that to him. That was wrong. And I was like, I was doing a social work. I told you the truth.
Yeah.
They'd be like, well, you can't do that. I'm like, I just did it. Like, look what you were going to have him sign. Don't sign that shit. I wouldn't do that. That's awful. He made 3 more points on it. That's why he jacked up your rate.
Right.
Like, I had no problem doing that. My manager would be like, did you? I'm like, yes, Mrs. Palmer. She's a lot older. I always called her Mrs. Palmer. And she was like 70 when I started. And I'm like, yes, Mrs. Palmer, I did. But, like, this is what they were doing to the client.
Yeah.
So I think, for me, it was, I wanted to help people. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to compete. And I knew the money was going to come, but I was never trying to be free to get rich. I wanted to be free to be free.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be broke. There's a big difference. People are like, I was just running from being broke. I wasn't running to being wealthy. I was running from being
free to you at that point.
That I could make decisions I could make my own decisions without worrying about money.
Okay.
That if my kid was playing a tournament on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I didn't have to go to my boss and ask for time off. If my son was like, hey, man, I'm going here, me and my buddies, and it cost me a couple $100 for a tournament, I didn't have to go like, oh, damn, do I have a couple $100? That was free. It wasn't about buying all this stuff. It was like making decisions in life to give my kids the life I wanted them to have without going, can I afford that?
This clip, check out the full podcast in the description, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.